life you truly want. Experience the Genna Effect. I'm Vincent Genna, psychic therapist, medium, and spiritual teacher. Become unstoppable. Learn the secret that's holding you back. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Genna Effect. I'm your host, Vincent Genna, psychic therapist, spiritual teacher, and author of The Secret That's Holding You Back. And you know me, I like to talk about information that is going to transform people's lives. That's why we're here. That's what I call the Genna Effect, right? And I bring in as much information as possible to help you do that. And today is an extremely special day because we're going to be talking about something I have not talked about before. I have never had a guest on who is actually going to talk about the most unbelievable, transformative ability that we have. Now, you know, I've taught about psychic ability and I've talked about mediumship ability, and I told you everyone has that. Everyone has the capacity to learn that. But this gentleman took it one step further, or I would say a big leap further. So I want to introduce you to somebody that I met at the PSI, the Psy Games that we did in August of 25. It was absolutely fantastic event where we got together people who are actually competing in with their psychic abilities and to see how far that they can go. And they were testing telekinesis, they were testing remote viewing, they were testing telepathy, everything. And then one of the students of this course came up and she demonstrated the most unbelievable ability that we all sat in the audience like deers in headlights. We were like, are you serious? And the funny thing is that when he's talking about it, you'll be doing the same thing because we all went, no, that's not, no, there's got to be something going on there. There's a trick to this. Don't you think there's a trick? There's got to be a trick. There's no trick to this. This is amazing. Holy cow. And the first thing I said is, I got to take this course. I got to go to it. So yes, we'll be talking about a course, sure, but you've got to understand this ability. So this gentleman that I want to introduce you to right now is Rob Freeman, and he is the founder of Vision Without Eyes. That's right. Vision Without Eyes. And so it's an experiential training program that's focused on developing what is often referred to as mind sight, the ability to perceive information without relying on the physical eyes. Let me tell you something. And when you get to my age and the eyes go off, man, oh man, would I like to rely on something other than these physical eyes, right? So over the past 8 years, Rob has worked with hundreds of participants, both sighted and blind, guiding them through structured exercises designed to expand perception and awareness. I mean, his work just combines training, live demonstration, ongoing support to help individuals explore their intuitive and sensory perceptions and abilities, right? And so he's going to talk about that. I can go on and on explaining this, but I want to introduce that gentleman to you right now because he's going to just blow your mind during this podcast. So I have to welcome Rob. Thank you so much for taking the time out to join me here on the Genna Effect. It's great to have you.
Thank you so much, Vincent, and I really appreciate you having me on your program.
Oh, man. I had to. I was so impressed and blown away by what we experienced. Look, I've been in this business and I've been working at it as a spiritual teacher, psychic medium for over 43 years. So that's giving away my age, right? So I've seen everything. Well, at least I thought I saw everything. And since we're going to be talking about vision without eyes, and apparently I didn't see everything. And I have that psychic ability. So there is a part of me that sees, but not in the way that we experienced you at the Psy Games in Charlottesville. It was just, like I said, mind-blowing. So could you just explain, first of all, what mind sight is and vision without eyes?
Sure. So there's two levels of mindset. When we take people into the week-long course, and it's an in-person course, you can teach this online, but it's just not the same. We can bring people through to the intuitive level online, but to actually be able to see in real time without your eyes through a blindfold, you really need to come to an in-person seminar. There's something about the energy, the enthusiasm, something that maybe even happens at the quantum level. But basically, Vincent, what happens is we take people through various different exercises to show them that they can do something that is, you might say psychic. So we bring them to the intuitive level of mindsight. Now, what is that?
Yeah.
You will start sensing things. For example, if you had your eyes closed, even right now, you want to do a little demo? You
Oh,
want to try it?
definitely. I'll go with you. Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead. I'm willing.
sure.
Go ahead.
Okay, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
You didn't know this was coming.
No,
We
I
have three
didn't.
different colors here. Okay. Okay,
Okay. I see
so
it.
this is blue.
That's
All right.
blue.
See blue. Close your eyes for a second and just visualize that. That's blue. This one is yellow. Open your eyes, see the yellow. Okay, so open
Okay.
your eyes and see the yellow and
I
then
see the
close them,
yellow.
visualize it. Okay. I'm taking a chance here. Now, this one is pink. So visualize this one. Open your eyes, see the pink, and then
Okay.
close them again and visualize the pink. So now you know there's three colors. Now, your mindset at the intuitive level is always running. It always has been running ever since you were a little boy. This is the level that we start into the classes at. Okay. Now, you may or may not get this. Okay. So you got your eyes closed.
Hmm.
I'm going to shuffle the cards, and it's going to be one of them that goes in your screen. Which one do you feel it is? You could get a very hint of the color. You could see it's like a fog. Now, don't concentrate. Just see in
No,
the black,
I'm not.
dark.
I'm not. I'm making sure that I'm not seeing through my eyes. And I want everybody
Just
to
let
know that
go.
I don't see anything. And Rob, you do
Let go.
realize you're also testing my psychic ability here. You do realize that.
You-
Oh, this is
Okay.
like,
So,
yes, okay. All right. So I have to tell you what was interesting is I almost saw you moving around a blue and a yellow card. And the first impression, or well, I don't want to say impression, I want to say what I'm seeing is blue.
okay, blue is the one in my other hand. Okay. Yellow is the one I was showing. Now,
Oh,
here's what I want to tell you. At the intuitive level, mindsight loves to play little games. Okay. Your mindsight already knew it was yellow, but it wanted to play a little trick on you because it is like that little boy that's still inside you. And it says, I'm going to give what Rob had in his other hand.
well,
The pink one's on the
I
floor.
saw, well, why do you think I said I saw the blue and the yellow?
Yes, you
Yes, I
got it.
said that right away. I know it's blue and the yellow.
Yeah.
So, and you know what? The other part that we have to try to probably get out of the way of, blue happens to be my favorite color, and that blue is my favorite color. So, and I'm wearing blue, so I already have an agenda, right? And the blue stuck in my head. But I did see the colors flash, blue and yellow.
You did.
Right. And that's wow. I'm impressed with that much because I saw
No.
both of those.
And and you didn't know this was coming. We didn't talk
No,
about
we did
this
not.
when
You
I was
didn't
going to
tell
do
me
the
this.
interview, right? No, no, no. So you didn't know. So you knew that it was blue or yellow. So well done on that.
I will take that.
Fantastic.
Well, if
So
that's the way I start, I can't imagine how I would end.
yeah. And so we take people through that intuitive level. We
Oh,
start with comparisons of colors, sensing the colors. We'll even have them feel the paper and say, what do you feel? Do you even get like a taste in your mouth or something? Or do you get a sense in your body? And we work with all your senses.
wow.
And then so as we work through the beginning of the seminar, then when your partner is holding up a color, whether you have your eyes closed or your mask on, 90% of the time you'll get it correct. Okay, then we
Wow.
move on. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, no, no. You go ahead. I'm just blown away.
Yeah.
So go
Yeah.
ahead.
Sure. So then we take people through symbols, like for example, the symbols. We have
Oh, right.
solid and yep, we have solid and opens. There's 7 of them, and we'll do the same thing there. We'll get them used to the actual symbols, what they realize, and that their mind sight already knows. And then we'll hold them up with eyes closed, and we move to the masks. Okay. And you can have your eyes open or closed in the mask, but then we will start working with colors and symbols in the mask. And people will have a strange thing happen. Some people will actually, happens about the 3rd day usually, and some people will say, I remember in our very first class we ever did, the one girl says, there's a hole in my mask. And we went up and we're feeling it. There's no hole in your mask. She says, I want a new mask. There's a hole in that. We took it off. We said, look, there's no hole. And she says, I'm seeing as if there's a hole in the mask. That's what it can look like for some people. Okay. It looks like you're looking through a tiny little hole. And
Gotcha.
as you move around, you can see, like I can see your face through the tiny little window or hole in my finger. So that's how it can start to appear.
So
Other
that's like
people,
squinting. That's like, when you squint with your regular eyes, and probably she would have to learn how to just trust and open more, and that window will open more, because that's what I even say with your psychic ability. You can see some things, and sometimes they're just so small and slight, but the more they work at it, the more it opens up. Can it be like that?
yes, it is. Like a lot of times, you'll get more than one little spot opening. Like typically, for a lot of people, you'll get like little stars appearing.
Okay.
Okay. And then one of those stars that you look through, and bear in mind, your mask is all plastic. And some people say, oh, they're looking through the corner by their nose or underneath. Not even talking about that. I'm talking about directly in front through the plastic.
That's
You'll
right.
see some stars. And then typically what happens is one of those stars, you'll be able to see a color through. Like if I hold up one of the colors, you'll say, that looks like yellow. Yes, it is yellow, or pink or blue. And then over time, through our class, people will get more stars that you'll be able to see the colors through. And then one of those stars typically gets bigger, and it's almost like you're looking through a hole or a window the size of a pea. Okay. And then you'll get more of those. And for some people, it becomes like Swiss cheese. You'll have several windows around your visual field, and you can look through any one of them. Now, here's the crazy thing, Vincent. You're not looking with your eyes. It's
Yeah.
going directly to your brain.
That's the part that fascinated me the most. People have to understand this. Now, just to back up, I saw one of those masks. I held it in my hand. It has foam all around the outside, and it's not penetrable. So there's no peripheral vision whatsoever. It lays completely flat against your face and nose and bridge. So, people are thinking, oh, okay, you're looking out from underneath here. You put the blindfold here. It's not a blindfold. It's a mask that actually conforms to your face. I saw that. And when you put that up and hold that up, it's blackness. That's
It
blackness.
is. It is. And then what we do further is we take it to the next level. We use eye patches. So the folks will put eye patches on that are completely sealed, and they put their mask back on, and their window starts opening with the patches on as well. Because some people, can have issues with their own brain. They'll be seeing with their mind sight, their real-time advanced mind sight, but their brain will say, well, but this is impossible. So, okay, you think you're cheating, that you're looking somehow
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
around the
yeah,
mask?
yeah.
We give them eye patches, okay, and we put them on, and they start seeing through both, okay. And then some of our advanced students, we go further. We'll actually take a black sheet of paper, like construction paper, put Velcro on the mask, and plop this paper in front of that. So you have your patches, your mask, and the paper, and they start to see things. First
Absolutely.
they'll get the colors and the
Yes,
shapes and the
yes.
words.
And before we go on further about that's the training portion of it, I really want to talk about the concept of it, because I'm sure people out there that are listening right now are going, wait a minute, you're still telling me that you can see. Let me just explain briefly. While I was sitting in the audience and I watched this demonstration, and actually there were four contestants up on the stage, and they were all in, their own little space, blocked off. Nobody can see anybody else. And they all had these blindfolds on, which was amazing. Then in front of them were a pegboard with four different colors and four rows, right? So now we're talking about 12 pegs, and all the colors were mixed up. Like one row may have been red, blue, yellow, green, and then the other one was yellow, red, green, blue, whatever. They were all mixed up there. And then they had a box of 48 little wooden donuts that all had the same colors. And their job was to see, while they were blindfolded, how many colors they could put on the correct color peg. So in other words, they had to take a blue donut and put it on a blue color peg. Now, those donuts were all mixed up in the box. They were all shaken, all right? The host, he just went around, he shook all the boxes. They opened it up and they timed it and said go, and they picked it up and had to try to feel it in some way. Now, not all of them, only one of them that we did not know was trained by Vision Without Eyes. And that wasn't fair that you threw her in there like that, okay? But we're watching the other ones and they're like, okay, so they're getting one. Now we're watching, everything is being shown on monitors to the audience. And we're like, oh, he got one. And we were excited. He got one. Oh, he got two. Oh, that one over there, he got three. We were really excited until we were watching Dahlia right in the middle there. And she was not, it was as if she did not have anything on her right. She picked up, put on. A matter of fact, I believe she got that entire board filled in less than 20 seconds, just one right after another. However long it took her to pick up the donut and put it on the peg, that's how long it took. And every one of them, 100% accurate, which is beyond chance, okay? The one, the two, you can throw in there that was chance that they got it. There's always this statistical, average that you got to average out, right? But there's no way that you could disprove 100% she got it right. Then she did a demonstration and stood up, and no matter how any of you tried to trick her, made her turn around, right, and you were picking up colored board just like you had now, she's picking the color, no problem. Not only that, but she'll turn around and she'll say what I just did, partially. She'll say, oh, you got yellow up over here, but you're holding blue in the other hand over here. You're about ready to pull it out. And there he pulled it out. Or they didn't tell her. They got two people and they moved her all the way at one side of the auditorium. They're on the other side of the auditorium holding up two different colors. And she turns around and she goes, red, blue. Like nothing. Rob, you got to tell us, how did you come up with this? Where did you come? I know you shared that story with me. You have to share a bit of it because that's the amazing part.
Sure. So, as many people know, my other passion is UFOs. I mean, I had a sighting when I was a kid. Wow. And in my town of Sarnia, Ontario, one was going back across in the sky, and I saw it. And in the paper the next day, over 200 people had seen the same one. And so I never worried about talking about UFOs because what I saw was documented in the newspaper. And, in the last 10 years, we've been traveling around the world. We've been to over 20 countries. We've interviewed hundreds on podcasts and everything else, just like you here. And one of the people we ran into when I got back from Australia, Leonia Pelt, she sent me a video of kids in her backyard running around with masks on, playing hide and go seek, as if they could see each other. And this video went on for about a minute, and I wrote her back, and I says, Leonie, is this a joke or is this real? Because if it's real, I want to do it. She wrote me right back and she says, it's real. I've taught my grandkids to see without their eyes. Wow. And they're playing hide and go seek. Yeah. So there was a teacher in Ottawa, Karen Osborne. I went and met with her. Three others of us, four of us together went. We learned over the weekend a little bit. We just got started. And then a friend of mine and myself, we started practicing, and we didn't know who to really learn from. Because this lady in Ottawa at the time, she only taught kids, and she didn't even know if she could teach adults. I only saw one color the whole weekend long. So we started practicing, and we found by trial and error what we had to do to make this happen. We found that things like laughter, feeling good, having fun, playing, just being like a kid kind of reconnects you to that original child you still have in you. And that is where your mind sight is. Okay. You can kind of say, okay, we have our left brain, we have our right brain. A lot of this is metaphorical. Our left brain being that intellectual, reasoning, logical, intelligence side, that ego-based side. Then there's this other area of our brain. Some people say the right brain. You don't have to say left or right. Just say another area of your brain where you have your intuitive, creative, sensing side. Okay? And that's, if you can get yourself there, you can do this. In fact, many people come to me, friends and so on, and they'll be at my house here. We'll do less than an hour, and I can get them seeing at the intuitive level every single time. There's not a single person that I can't get to the intuitive level one-to-one within an hour. So we just did more training, and we got to the point where we got our seeing in real time windows open. And seeing in real time is where you're actually seeing with your brain. You can have your eyes open or closed. You can put a patch, you can put a mask on, sheets of paper in front. But as you look around, it's like you're seeing in real time. And that's what we want the blind people to have. They're the ones that really, really need it.
Right.
We've got several people that we're training.
That's amazing. And it's fantastic for them, because if they have the chance to see what they haven't seen before, I can't believe, it would be incredibly transformative for them, and such a blessing. It's kind of, I don't want to make it sound like, over the top, but this really is God's work. I mean, it's when you're turning people within and they're getting to experience a greater part of them. It's not an outside force doing that. It's an inside force doing that. So how did you develop, though, the actual program that you're teaching now? It was a trial by error. How long did it take you to do that?
Well, I've been doing this now for 8 years, and it really took us a long time because it's kind of like, Edison, who invented the light bulb. He took, I believe it was close to 2,000 different things before he found the light bulb.
Right.
Did a lot of trial and error. We just didn't know what to do, and we tried things and we discovered things that work. So the program that we do today is based on all the things that we discovered. Now, we did find other trainers. We got with them. We met with them in person. We met with them online, and we learned even more. And then we kind of cherry picked all the things that seemed to work from all the things that we also picked up from these other people. So today's program is a combination of all the things we discovered and all the things that we found from other trainers as well, Vincent.
Well, that's fantastic. Quite honestly, I have not heard about this before until I've seen you. And I'm glad that it worked that way, because I feel that you truly have put it all together for people. And the way you explain it and the work that you've done and the demonstrations that you've done, the students that you've brought on, it's been an amazing outcome. So then here's the magic bullet question is why? I understand. Obviously, for blind people, we can see what the great advantage is. Okay. So what's the advantage of me being able to see with my eyes closed?
Sure. It's just one of many psychic abilities. For example, people will come to our course and we take them through the intuitive mindset. Now, you're going through that part of it, you bump into pretty much all of the other clairs and psychic abilities like seeing the future, seeing the past, knowing what the card's going to be next. Um, Gosh, I don't know where to start. And we encourage people not to try to block any of that out. So really, we're putting them on the path of self-discovery of all the things that they really do have and they're born with, but never really believed it. Okay, like everybody's born with this to see without eyes. You're hardwired with it. Likely, Vincent, when you were probably somewhere between the age of 2 and 3, you may have been in your room, you may have had your eyes closed, and you could see. Now, as a little boy, that's nice, right?
Right,
And you're
right.
running out to your mom or dad in the kitchen, hey, mom, I can see you through my hands. What's the first thing she's going to say? Oh, Vincent, sweetheart, that's not real. That's just pretend. And what happens to that little boy now? Shuts it down. That's it. It's now shut down for the rest of his life until now you decide, for example, you want to come to a seminar and learn it. So we start in the intuitive, and you're going to also discover many of these other things. So it basically opens your eyes. And once the people see that they can do this and get that confidence, that's when they're ready to move to this other level. But why do sighted people want to do it? It seems that they're drawn to this because they're curious. They almost have a sense, some of them, that they've done this before. And many of them have, Vincent, when they were young. And it got shut down inadvertently by well-meaning parents. The same people who told you that the Easter Bunny was real.
Right, exactly.
Santa Claus was real. And the Tooth Fairy is real, told you that mindsight wasn't real.
Wait,
right? So,
now
but
wait a minute.
yeah,
Mindsight
we
is
take them
real.
through the class.
Yeah. Okay, so you take them through the class.
When you're at the intuitive level, I find it's easier. But if you're trying to switch to the seeing the room in real time, it's better to leave your eyes open. So it really is up to you. The intuitive level is where you'll see a flash of color. You'll see a very vague haze of color when I'm holding up a color. You could get like this energy coming at you. You don't see a color, but you feel energy and you say, well, I know that's pink. I don't know why. I just know it's pink. That's the intuitive level mindset. There is a next level mindset. Okay. And that's where you can see the room and everything in it in real time very clearly.
Yeah, that's what kids do really easy, right?
Yes. Yeah. As an adult, there's several ways to get there. There's blue in your screen. It's like a darker blue, like almost like a darker sky blue. And this one is the yellowy green again. Okay. Now I'm going to put them under the desk. I'm going to shuffle them. Either one of the colors. There it is in your screen.
Oh, it's really funny because I thought I was going to stop at blue. So that's the first that came up. But then you started doing this and it became a bit greeny for green and yellow.
Okay. Lift your mask up and check it out. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So now we're going to go to the symbols, the open circle, the open triangle, the open square, but then it's going to be the solid plus. They're black lines and they're easy to see with your mind sight. And it goes in your screen. There it is. Let go of everything. No concentration at all.
I thought I saw it was a corner, so like a square.
What else did you see?
Afterwards, it went like this.
Hey, lift your mask up. There you go. There you go. I'm going to take two colors, that yellow and the pink. I'm holding one up. Look through those dots and what color. It might be that only one of those dots you can see the color through. So look through each one of them. Go completely empty.
Is it pink?
Yes, it is. On the top of each card is the word. On the middle of the card is the item. So you'll see the shape and the color. And then the cards themselves have a red border line around the outside. So just so your mind sight's familiar with them, I'm going to show them on the screen. There's the goldfish. This one is the green tree. So it's your ball of green at the top and then the brown trunk. This one is the red pants. I'm going to shuffle them up and putting in your screen. So visualize a vertical rectangular card with a red border around it. So see that in your mind's eye. And then
I'm getting the tree.
Lift your mask up.
Yeah, cool.
Very good. What would the game
I was
be?
thinking you can hide something under the cut.
Okay, let's do that. I'm going to take one of the dice and I'm taking a colored cup and I'm covering the dice. You want me to lift that to the screen or leave it out of view of the screen?
You can leave it where it is.
Okay, tell me the color of the cup. Tell me the color of the dice. There's the cup on the table. So come here however method you want. By supersonic playing, by remote viewing, by just knowing, by telepathy, because I know what it is.
My initially thing was it's a green dice with a red cup.
Okay, lift your mask up. Lift your mask up. Watch this.
Yeah.
There you go. Fantastic. You got it. Okay, we're all done.
Cool.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah, we take them through the class, and most will reach the seeing in real time level. We get about 90% plus.
Wow.
Okay, it really depends on the amount of baggage that people carry and whether we can help to get them relaxed and so on. We have a resident hypnotherapist that will help the folks.
Wow.
Okay, this is a reason why kids can do it immediately. Adults, it can take longer because you're dealing with people who have, different belief systems, limiting beliefs, and we've got to kind of try to put all that aside. Now, here's the thing. In order to let people take the pressure off of themselves, do not put yourself under pressure coming to a class because that is counterproductive.
Right.
We want people to be relaxed. So I tell them, look, no worries. If you don't get this, you can come back to as many seminars as you want for free. Okay, so take the pressure off yourself. If you don't get it this time, you'll get it next. And that happens to our people, some of our people. Not only that, but, when you leave the class, you got to practice. Like anything else, if you don't keep it going, it starts to disappear.
Right.
So what do we offer to all the alumni? They can come to free alumni online classes twice a week, Monday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we've had people open their window in those classes. So we've had people that have come back to another seminar. They didn't quite get it. They opened it up in that seminar.
That's
there's
wonderful
no
that you offer
reason.
that. Yeah. So you live in Canada, though, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And we hold seminars both here in Canada and in the US.
And in the US.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're asking about the benefit, and the US, you're asking about the benefit of sighted people. Establish that it really opens the door for self-discovery and all these other abilities that they have. And of course, the other benefit is for the blind people.
Yes.
Like there's folks that have never seen and they're able to see and even understand what colors are. They've never seen colors before, but they can discern colors and get shapes. And we've got blind people who are just starting to see in real time now. There's various blind people around the world that can see in real time. There's many folks, Vincent, who have gone blind as a result of an accident, a disease, some kind of a condition, who have seen when they were younger. So, it's a little easier to train those folks because they know what vision is and they have a full understanding of what their environment looks like. And so both of these groups are very, very heavily motivated to learn, and especially the ones that have lost their sight. The ones that are blind, of course, they'll say to me, well, if I don't get this, it's okay. I know how to navigate in my surroundings. It's something I would like to have. It's not necessary because I know how to get around and I can do just fine, thank you, in my environment. But the people who have had their eyesight and have lost it, for them, they've gone through a real grieving process, having lost their eyesight. And the thought of being able to get that back is so exciting for them. And we've got many people who are now seeing in real time as a result of taking the classes. I mean, their sight is coming back. And so those are the folks that really, really need this bad.
Yeah, I can imagine that. But I have to say that once the blind community really grabs hold of this, because like you said, 8 years, that's not a long period of time, right? And so they can really see what the benefit is. I cannot imagine one blind person who wouldn't be excited over the thought of being able to see something before they leave this planet. So for the ones that you did work with, and they were able to open up and see, what was it feeling? What was their expression? What was their, how do they respond? That must have been so rewarding for you.
Yes. So right now we've been doing the in-person classes for about 2.5 years.
Oh, only two.
And, I've been at this for 8 years. Yeah. And so we're working with blind people, and we're at the point, we're kind of right at the edge. We're at the cutting edge. And we've got one blind lady who, her name's Trish, and she had retina pigmentosus. So she saw when she was younger, it went black. Okay. Medical stuff. She went down the road of doing different modalities herself, separate from vision without eyes, like different healing modalities, and got light perception. In other words, that's all she can see is just a little bit of light, could not make out anything. Anyway, she's come to our class, and she's at the point now, and she's actually going to be a teacher in the May class here in London, Ontario. She's going to be one of our teachers teaching, but she's at the point, remember, all these people, we're moving them along, and I've only been doing the in-person classes for 2.5 years. So our blind people are moving with us, Vincent, okay? It's all cutting edge. Okay. She's at the point where she can see in her screen, she can see the shapes, she can see the colors, she can read 2-letter words, and she's getting it through a very small window. Okay. It looks like for her that she's looking through frosted glass. But literally every week I'm watching her improve. Okay. And I told her, I said, Trish, once you get to the point where you can consistently see, and she got there, no matter what I held up, she could tell me what it was. I said, you can become a trainer to help us teach the other blind folks. So she's going to be a trainer. We've got another fella, John, who's going to be as an alumni back here in May. And he is just, how would I put it? He's got very strong intuitive mindset where he perceives the colors, even the words and the shapes. And he's just, how would I put it? He's overlapping real-time seeing with his intuitive seeing. And I would expect any week now, he's going to break out into seeing the room clearly in real time. So that's where we're at with all of this stuff. Now, you come back maybe in 2 years from now, and we'll have many blind folks that have gone through the program and who are seeing in real time. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. And others as well. And so I'm definitely hearing from you that it is a progression. And that's what's really interesting that people have to understand. Nothing is instant. And there's a reason for that. Because you cannot value and discover that you're an unlimited, magnificent being if everything was instantaneous. You have to have the opposite. You have to have the limit to experience unlimitedness, which is why we come to this earth to start with, right? And we could have stayed on the other side and learned everything over there, but we decided, no, I want to come and incarnate here and be limited. Why? Because it's so exhilarating to go from nothing, not if you can't see with your eyes closed, to all of a sudden seeing with your eyes closed like that and having vision without eyes. You discover your abilities. That's what I loved about the Psy Games. And people have to understand that. We're doing it again this year in Charlotte, North Carolina. So you've got to check that out because, and Rob is going to be there, right? You're going to be there, Rob, right? You better be, because all of this.
We got a team.
Oh, you do already? Okay, I'm glad. I'm excited about that. I can't wait to see them. But what I want people to understand, yes, it's fun. Yes, it's wonderful. But for the same reason that I do mediumship, it just is evidence as to the extraordinary beings that we are. And the more evidence we get, when we walked away from those side games, and especially with yours, which was the icing on the cake there, really was the whole cake. They were the icing. It was just, I walked away going, there is no doubt in my mind as to, and my wife felt the same way. She was there with me. No doubt in our minds that we are more than, because of what we just saw. And that's what you wind up walking away with, that confidence, that knowing that I am more than this physical being with just these physical eyes. And, oh, yeah, I can't see my vision. I wear glasses. I've got cataracts and glaucoma. Well, close those eyes and learn to see without them. And I guarantee you, you'll help heal your physical eyes just as well, because you're stepping into your power. That's what I loved about your work and why it's so important to me and why I even wanted to have you here. So tell me, how do people find you to start with? And then how do they take your class, and when's your next class?
Sure. And I'll answer your last little point there too about glasses. When you get your mind sight opening, it's better than 20/20, Vincent. So you will find, and you'll see this as you get more involved with me over time. When people are seeing mind sight, with their mind sight, they can see very far off into the distance.
Wow.
And you can even get telescopic mind sight and macroscopic mind sight. But then they take their mask off and they got to put their glasses back on. Some folks will learn to have their mind sight operate in the daytime without a mask on, and they throw away their glasses. Some, not all. I had an experience myself where I was on the chairlift and I knew a text was coming that was very important, and I wear glasses. And when the text came, I lifted my goggles. I didn't have my glasses on, and I read the text, and I read the 3 lines. And as I went to read the 4th line, it was very clear. And I said to myself, wait a minute, I shouldn't be able to read this. I don't have my glasses on. And it went blurry. Okay, so my seeing in real time mind sight overlaid on top. And that is the goal that you can work towards if you wear glasses. But you asked about where people can reach us.
Yes.
visionwithouteyes.com. Okay, and that connects to the Facebook and the YouTube. All the events are on there, and they can register right at that site. The May class is closed now, but we're going to have an August class here, also in London, Ontario, Canada.
Wow.
And then in November and again in January, we'll have the classes in Orlando where, it's cold here, but it'll be nice and warm down there.
Wow, that's wonderful. And that Orlando one is the one that I really want to go to. And it's in the most magical place of the world anyway, Disney World area, right? So you're going to have one type of magic happening at another magical place there. So we can, and you said that we have to have fun with it, right? So yes, take one of those rides with your eyes closed, but being able to have that mind sight, it's a whole new adventure, I'm sure. So everybody needs to go to visionwithouteyes.com. That's correct, visionwithouteyes.com. And just check out, you have other videos on there of all different examples and some of the what the people are doing. And don't you have a YouTube channel as well with some things, or is the website the best place to go?
Yeah, you can find a YouTube channel through the website. The website is Vision Without Eyes and then Rob Freeman. And in it, you'll see all kinds of vids. I think there's over 600 videos. It's my progression right through from when I started and all the people I've taught and so on, including blind people. And let me mention this. There's one video of me seeing in the dark. Okay, it's a thermal video. It's black and white. And we did it out of fun to see, because people say, can you see in the dark? Well, we tried it. We sealed up all the crack on the doors, put black plastic on the windows. I've got a thermal camera that measures heat and converts the heat into images. And you'll see me there getting everything that Wendy showed me. I get pictures, I get symbols, I get colors. And so you can see in the dark with this also, if you want to take it that far. I mean, Vincent, some people can get 360-degree vision all the way around, you know.
Yes, that's
Not
what
only
Dahlia did that.
360. Yeah, that's right. That's
Jeff,
right.
she did that. She turned
And
around.
you can
Yes.
get spherical vision where you can see all the way around you, around the top and underneath everywhere.
Well,
Like
I can
totally,
see
not
the
just
advantage
360
of that.
around.
I like that. All around you. Then I won't need it in my car. I would be able to see it myself.
There
There's
you
some
go.
of the, see the advancement? It's really interesting how technology follows what we're capable of. We think we follow technology, but all the inspirations from technology come from who we are already. So for me, like AI is nothing outside of us. AI is what's inside of us. We've just learned how to put it outside so that everybody else can connect to it. But all that information is what's already in here. It's that knowledge. Like I said, we just learned to put it on the outside. So what you've done and is put together a program, and you've done work to take what's already in us and bring it to the outside so that we can use it in our regular physical world, which I can definitely see the advantage to that. So where do you see yourself going from here, Rob?
Yeah, so I really want to continue with the blind and people with low or impaired vision. And that's where we're pushing these things. Everybody's welcome, because it's great in these seminars to have both groups. For example, when the sighted people start having their real-time seeing open, the blind folks who don't see it, but they hear it, that gives them excitement and hope. Okay, so it becomes a motivation for them, for their windows to come open, both at the intuitive and the seeing in real-time level. Now, when the blind folks start seeing at the intuitive level, there isn't a dry eye in the room from the sighted people. It's very moving when you see these people who are 100% blind, telling their partner, okay, this is a square, this is a solid square, this is a triangle. And you're looking, you see this. I mean, it just hits you emotionally, because you know this person's been blind all their life, and you're witnessing a miracle right in front of your eyes. So we do want to have both groups mixed together. One helps the other. So, but I want to continue developing the blind side of this and more, because the sighted people, a lot of them will learn this. They will learn many other things as well. So they may keep this, they may just keep it in their back pocket and go on to all the other abilities that they didn't know they had. The blind folks will generally stay on this till they get it, and they will continue on, and they will bring all their blind friend folks into the group as well. So, that's where I'm going with this. I want to have a school where we're actually, people are coming, blind people are coming, maybe it's 3 weeks, maybe it's a month, and it's group of people, and they're all going through this together, having their mind sight come open, practice, establish it really strong, so that when they go home, they don't lose it. They can, they can continue to practice online, but they can practice on a day-by-day basis and keep this ability going for the rest of their life.
Absolutely. I've got to tell you, not being blind, I still can see all the advantages of the average mainstream person learning this. Yes, besides learning about all their abilities, but to be able to see, to give me confidence, to be able to even show others that we're more than, therapists, counselors, all of them. As a psychic reader, but I call myself a psychic therapist. I do a lot of counseling within the reading itself, to be able to show that and give them evidence helps them to start having confidence in themselves. Even when they're not taking the program, the people who are taking the program can be more of an inspiration. I don't see this as a novelty. I don't see it as a novelty or a luxury at all. I see it as, if you care to evolve, then this is something you want to be able to do is in your own life. You will always be able to add it to your life. You'll always be able to add it to your life. When you're having a hard time communicating with your child, or your child becomes a teenager and you have a difficult time and you want to know how to be able to help this person, I can see how vision without eyes will not only help you see this, but I'm going to go one step further. You'll be able to see what the other person is seeing and feeling as well, because you're starting to connect more. Once you connect to your intuitive sense, you're connecting to each other, because that's how we're connected together. So you will get a different sense of different feeling, all of a sudden. Like, for example, you were holding up the blue and the yellow card. Even though you had the yellow one, I still was able to see that you had that blue one in the other hand, right? In some way. Maybe I misinterpreted because I need more training. We only did that in a matter of moments, right? So
just came out of nowhere and did it.
Came out of nowhere to be able to do it. That let me know, that validated me. Validation is another important thing to people. So I do not see this at all, Rob, as novel. And I don't mean to take up the time me explaining things, but I want the listeners to know the advantage. This is just not about impressing people. This is about impressing upon people, right, who they really are and what their abilities are. That is fantastic. I can't wait to see what you've got coming up, and you've got to be able to keep us informed. And like I said, and everybody who wants to, they're curious about this, want to see Rob and any other videos, go to visionwithouteyes.com. I'll have that on here. And so I do have to ask you this one, because there's that little psychic sense inside of me without the vision without eyes wondering, so when is your book coming out?
Yeah, we should write a book. Many people have said that. And, it's funny. Some of the trainers we learned with have written books. So it's probably time to write a book, Vincent. It probably is time.
I think so, because the advantage that you have, Rob, like you said, is you've taken and you've looked at all of them and you pulled it together. And so it's like the next level, the next step for the rest of us, because that would be incredible, and your stories to be able to share. But of course, you're so involved in what you're doing, you need the time to be able to step aside and do it. Right. I can imagine how long it takes to prepare a week course for this, and get your locations and all of that besides your regular life going on. But definitely a book would be fabulous,
Well, and we have written books, like with my partner who we travel around the world with for UFOs. We've written a book, and it wasn't that hard. Because I said, well, I don't have the time to sit down and write it. And our person that we worked with said, you don't need the time to sit down and write it. She said, we will do a Zoom call and you just answer my questions. And so we had 2 or 3 phone calls or Zoom calls. Maybe they were an hour, and I just talked and talked and talked. And she and my partner, they took that information and they put it into the book. And then when it was all done, I went through and just made sure everything was accurate, made any little changes, and now the book's out there. So, I didn't have to sit down and spend the time writing it. It was easier to just allow myself to be interviewed and answer questions, and the ghostwriter wrote the book.
That's amazing. I like that. Okay, so then we got to get it published. Is it published yet?
Oh, that one is published. Yeah,
that one is. But all right, but you have another one that's on its way, definitely, with all the experiences that you have now. So putting aside working with the blind people, which is absolutely fantastic, what motivates you? Leave us with, we're coming to the end of the podcast here. Leave us with what thoughts motivates you to be able to do this and want to continue this. I know you've said some things briefly throughout, but what really motivates you, Rob? Let's get to know Rob Freeman.
Yeah, I would say what motivates me to do this is to watch the folks in class, especially the shy ones who are very timid and shy, and watching the change that comes over them when they open up their real-time mindset. It gives them a whole confidence boost, because they can do something that is seemingly impossible. That's what really motivates me. Those folks, and of course, all of our folks, as they come open, I've been witness to that, working with them and being with them the moment that little window comes open and they can see. And it just, it's all I can do is holding back tears, feeling that, pardon me, that emotion that you feel when you see that person discover that for the first time and what they're going through, what they feel. And that's pretty priceless to be able to feel that. And in every seminar, I get to go through that. So that's probably my big motivator right there. And of course, watching the real shy people. I mean, I've had people who are so shy, when we go around the room, just take a couple minutes at the beginning of the seminar, tell us about yourself. They disappear. They go outside. So when it's their turn, they don't have to speak.
Wow.
Okay. That's how painfully shy they are, Vincent. And at the end of the seminar, where people would go around and ask them about their week's experience, and then they stand up and tell what they experienced. So watching that change in them just over that week is an incredible motivator for me.
Well, let me tell you something that makes your program and anything you would teach successful. It's the intention and the value of the teacher. Believe me, anybody else could take those words, and if they use them and use your program for a different reason, in a different way, even if they were teaching the exact same thing, it would fall by the wayside because it wasn't coming from pure intention. So your intention, Rob, is what really empowers the work that you're doing. So just always, I know that may be something that you've heard before, but it's something that I truly believe, which is why I do everything to work on myself, walk my talk, because I don't want the words, the message to be a waste, because they are so important. So thank you so much for joining us again. This is Rob Freeman from visionwithouteyes.com. Go check him out. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to be here on the Genna Effect. I'm sure people are just like, nah, I got to see that. I want to do that myself. So thank you for joining me today, Rob. Totally appreciate that. You're doing incredible work, really. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on, Vincent. It was a total pleasure.
Absolutely. And for everybody out there, keep coming back to the Genna Effect. I'm Vincent Genna, your psychic therapist, spiritual teacher, medium, author, whatever. And I'm going to learn to have more vision without eyes. And I'm going to be going to see Rob Freeman. And I'll tell you about that experience as soon as I'm done with it when that happens. So everybody, take care of yourself, okay? And just remember, in order to believe in anything else, you have to start by believing in you. So bye-bye for now.